Greetings, greetings. Um, I want to share something that I don't know if I learned it. It's more like putting it together, kind of. Clearer understanding of something. So I have been studying, well, recently picked it up, linguistics, and and which leads me into studying of etymology. So I've been looking up some words to find. And etymology is the original meaning of a word. The original meaning when the word was first start using. What's the original meaning of that word? Not the meaning that is applied today, but the origin of the word and its meaning. So it begins me after listening to this topic on etymology and different words. I came to the conclusion that, and I kind of wrote it on like that the mind of men have been conquered into submission using language, using words. They use words to conquer men into submission, and they use words. One of the words that I looked up was define, because I was defining a word. So I was like, oh, maybe I should look up the etymology of the word define, and and um, and the definition, the meaning of define is to limit, to put boundaries, to just um, to limit something basically. When you define something, so you limit it. When I was thinking about the word and what it means, it's basic. Okay, so when you put a definition or a name to something, you basically limit it to that, as if that's all that thing can do and nothing outside of the box. And if you try to apply something else outside of what they define this thing or word, um, it's just within those limits of what the definition is, right? So then that leads me to look up the opposite of define, which is, well, I thought about finite, which is also mean to limit. Um, so I look up infinite. And when I look up the word infinite, I get limitless, boundless, unmeasurable, incomprehensible. And one of the other definition there is God. It's limitless, unmeasurable, infinite, boundless. So, and then I thought about, I think a lot sometimes. I really do think. I think a lot. So anyway, I went into, how did I get to that? I don't even know how I went into that. Oh, I think the person that I was listening to was talking about money and how, what was he saying? It was asked someone about money. And they were talking about like dollar note versus coins, like gold and silver. And he was saying basically gold and silver is what money is. And in my mind, it's going off like, no, that's also a concept. Gold and silver is not money, right? So that's what they use to define gold and silver as money. I find it so fascinating when you learn something and you could apply it somewhere else. Amazing. Anyway, so they defined gold and silver as money. And I'm asking myself, like, so what about all the other metals? If gold and silver is considered money and it's natural to the earth, then all the other metals should be considered money too, right? And obviously, I'm thinking that, you see, this is how they have programmed us to believe these things. Like gold and silver is naturally found in the earth, right? And then I begin to think like, okay, gold and silver is also found inside the human body. Like all the metals are also found inside the human body. Any metals or elements that you found in nature is within the human body. So I was kind of going down the rabbit hole, like, okay, so if they're using those things as gold and silver for money and utilizing it and utilizing all the other metals, um, Are they doing that to human beings? Are they utilizing human beings? So in a way, they kind of are because, I mean, if you think about it, are they not using your energy? And what do you get out of these things? It's energy, right? Money is energy. Gold, silver, it's energy. They all carry energy. So it's kind of the same thing that they do to humans. But anyway, so I was just thinking like how money is just a concept, using gold and silver for money is a concept that humans create, like we create. We just apply a value to it and call it money, even though there's so many other elements out there. Why are they not using trading in copper? You see, they put a value to certain things, like, oh, gold is the highest in silver, but what happened to copper, nickel, and all the other metals? Well, they have other metals that they put higher than gold, but you know what I mean. You see where I'm getting at. I'm just going to the more common ones. Um, so there was like, so then I was thinking about, how did I get to that? I was thinking about the human body and how all these elements are within the human body, these metals, and damn, sometimes I really go off track with my thought, but I don't know how I get to it. But I think I was thinking about frequency or vibration of these elements. Like, what are they made of? That's where I went down. Yeah. Like, what are these elements made of, right? So I started to Google, what are they made of? Because I'm going to tie back that how into the same thing as humans. So as I was looking up metals, and it was saying like metals are made, which I already know the answer, but I'm just looking up for looking up purposes. Metals are made up of electrons, neutrons, and protons, right, which are atoms. And then I looked up what are the human cells made of, and it's like molecules. What are molecules? Nucleotide acids, proteins, carbohydrate, and lipids. These are molecules. Okay, then I looked up what are molecules made of, and it said molecules are made of atoms. What are metals made of? Atoms, right? Neutrons, and protons. So, and molecules are made of atoms too, right? And atoms consist of a nucleus of protons, neutrons, and electrons in the human body. So now that brings me to basically say that human beings are made of our cells, because this is all cells compact together. Cells are made of the same thing that metals are made of. We're literally made of the same thing. There is no difference, maybe just in number wise of which different protons and electrons and neurons made up different things, but the core of all things is made up of the same thing. It's all made up of the same thing. Everything in nature is made up of the same exact thing. Oneness of all. I think when you study these things, you really realize, oh, all is one, because we're all the same thing when it comes down to it. Does not the physical body go back straight to the dirt? Does trees go back to the dirt? Yeah, everything breaks down and go back to right where it comes from. Speaking of the physical body. All right, so then I went and looked up what is protons made of. Protons contain proton neurons. Yeah, and I got gluons. Yeah. Anyway, I wrote down one thing about it when I went to look up. It said gluons are quantum pockets of force, much as protons are quanta of light. All right. There are a minute amount of energy emitted by subatomic particles, and thus are not made of anything. I put this in there. This is my own little thing. It's all energy, basically. It's light, just light. When they said anything, it's like empty. It's just light. It's just energy. So energy, light is sound slow down, right? This is the conclusion. All things are made up of light, energy, and light is sound slowed down. That's what I wrote down after looking up all these different things. Basically, everything is made of light, and light is sound slowed down. So then that brings me to ask myself, that asks how is sound created, and I said what is sound. But that I wrote down, the thought that came to me was that when I think I asked what is sound, how is sound created, and the thought that came to me was like, sound is silence. Sound is silence, and a sound gives off vibration. I'm gonna explain why I say sound is silent, because in John chapter 1 verse 1, I think they mentioned in there, in the beginning was the word. And I asked myself a lot, like, what is the word? And what came to me was like, sound. In the beginning there was sound. So I was like asking myself, like, okay, there was no one around to hear it though, right? Because in the beginning there was nothing, and then there was a sound that creates all things. Yeah, that's what I was telling myself. I said sound is what create all things. Sound is what create all things. And that is where I ask myself, like, well, what is sound? How do we hear? So anyway, and my answer was like, sound gives off vibrations, right? So the answer is like, how do we hear if there's only silence? So I went to look up how we hear sound. This is internet here, right? How do we, human being, hear sounds? All right. So it said there's nerve ending transforms the vibration. Remember, sound is vibration, right? Nerve ending transform the vibration into electrical impulses that then travels along the 8th cranial nerve, the auditory nerve, to the brain. The brain then interprets these signals, and this is how we hear. The inner ear, E-A-R, also contains the vestibular organ that is responsible for balance. I don't know why I put that there. All right. Another little definition: the eardrum vibrates from the incoming sound. So when a sound, which doesn't really make no sound, it's silent. A sound is silent. A sound is vibration. Vibration is what they are calling sound, because sound is not something that is audible. Okay, I'm not even trying to say that word right now. Well, you know what I mean. Sound is silent until it hits your eardrum, and then that's what, it's a vibration that hits the eardrum, really, the inner ear. It's the vibration. It's vibration. All things is vibration. Sound is vibration. So when the vibration hits the eardrum, the inner ear, is when it's the nerve cells within the ears translate the sound, the vibration into words to the brain. So anyway, so the eardrum vibrates from the incoming sound waves and send these vibration to these tiny bones in the middle ear. Okay, so then that asks me, okay, so then how is sound produced? How do we produce sound, right? The first one was like, how do we hear the sound, right? Now it's like, how is sound produced? Okay, so now, okay, the voice is generated by airflow from the lungs. Meaning, when I said how we produce sound, is meaning like me speaking right now when I'm asking a question and I'm communicating with someone. That's what I mean by that. Like, how do we produce sound? You know, if sound is silent, why are you hearing words or hearing my vibration? You're hearing my vibration. You're hearing my sound. You're hearing my vibration. So, the voice is generated by airflow from the lungs. When the air from the lungs blows through, wow, okay, I can't read my own handwriting. Okay, I got it. Let me start over. Voice is generated by airflow from the lungs. When the sorry, I'm thinking about in my head. I know what I came up. It's like being a nurse. You should know better because you know how doctors write so terrible. Like you barely could read their handwriting. Have you learned nothing from being a nurse? Okay, sorry. Okay, let's go back to this reading. When the air from the lungs blows through the vocal folds, sorry, when the air from the lungs blows through the vocal folds vibrates. The vibration lead to sounds we call voice. So it's all vibration again. Vibration leads to sound. It was vibration first, then sound. Vibration is silence. So the vibration leads to sound we call voice. These sounds are shaped to form speech. So our vibration translates to sound, and that's how we have speech. So, my mind is going off here. So it begs to differ. Do we really need to talk? I think we need to learn how to tap by into reading vibrations, reading energy. We could communicate through vibration if we're able to pick up on vibration. We literally don't have to physically speak. That is not the normal way. This is actually a dumbed down way of how we communicate. Speech is like an uncivilized way to communicate is through speech because it could be so confusing. Vibration is the true way of communicating is through vibration. Vibration doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. The energy, the vibration of a person, when you pick up on that, there is no misleading, you don't have to interpret anything. All you have to do is just feel that vibration and that's it. Right? Because most of the time, people don't actually say what they're feeling. People don't say what they mean. But they may think it and they feel that way. That's the vibration they're sending off. So, vibration is the truest way to communicate. Anyhow, let's go back to this. Okay. How we produce vibrations, right, is my next question. So I'm asking myself, how do we produce vibrations? All right. Okay. So, our mind, our thoughts generate vibration that is constantly at work. Well, I put the thoughts in there, but the Google says our mind, but it's really thoughts. So, all right, let's go back. I'm gonna read what it says on the computer. Our mind generate vibration that is constantly at work. Our thoughts and feelings all carries a frequency. See why I changed mine to thoughts? They end up saying it right there too. Our thoughts and feelings all carries a frequency, just like sound and light. I think I put this. This is me put this there now. A thought vibrates through mind and creates our reality. So our thoughts vibrates out into the field, out into our field, out into the universe. Our thoughts are vibrating, constantly carrying out messages, whether you're saying them verbally or not. Thoughts is what create. Vibration is what creates. Our thoughts carry vibration, which is how we communicate with nature. Actually, not with the physical mouth. It's not speech. Speech is not how we communicate with nature. Nature communicate us through vibrations, through feeling, and that's how what we give off into nature too, our vibration. what we feel, right? That is how we communicate. So a thought vibrates through mind and creates our reality. This could be with or without our awareness. So we could be creating our reality. This is why we are our own creator, because we create with our thoughts, right? And if we are not aware of this, which the majority of the people on the planet is not, if we are not aware of these things, we create unconsciously. And if we are aware of these things, we consciously create because of our thoughts. So it goes back to the reason why I went into this whole thing about thoughts and vibration and sound and how it plays into words, because words carry vibration, words carry a frequency. So if you have people that are using linguistic, and changing the original meaning of words to something else, even though the origin of that word, that's still the original meaning of the word. It doesn't matter what these people are putting on to words now as time changed by. Oh, we're in different time now, so we're just applying a different definition. No, the etymology of the word does not change. The original meaning of the word does not change. So you're using these words, and these words are carrying the vibration, a certain vibration. So it goes into that word about define. How we define things, how we define ourselves, how we define people, how we look at people. For example, how we attach titles to people. Like, this whole society is run by personas, and which are titles and it's make up personalities. We're our masks and so many masks. We wear so many masks. We don't even know who the fuck we are anymore. And anyway, that's what I was thinking about. Like, if you're a nurse and you stop being a nurse, you can't be a nurse anymore. If you're like an athlete and something happened, you can't be an athlete anymore, because that's who you see yourself as and nothing else. You know how much that is gonna affect someone's psyche, someone's mind. Like, you could feel worthless, like you're nothing, because you can't do what you thought you were. Like, and it goes back to the whole thing about a person, which is a persona, and how we are not our physical body, we are not our names, we are not our careers. Like, you're not a nurse, you're practicing something, but that's not who you are. You're not a doctor. This is why I don't even understand why when doctors when you're calling them now, their name is Dr. So-and-so, even if they're going to a fucking bank and they're not even at work. Like, why the hell am I calling you doctor? Like, no, I hate that. I can't stand that. I really can't. So all of a sudden your name change. Is that on your birth certificate, sir? Is there Dr. Errol Williams or whatever on your birth certificate? No. So how is that your name? It's so stupid. This is the illusion that we live in on this damn planet is just ridiculous. Oh my Lord. May God forgive us for our stupidity. We have fallen so far into darkness. And this is how you have other people controlling us and everything we do, whatever we believe in. We're the one who's actually running the system. Ain't nobody up there who's in control. You are in control, literally. Based on what you believe, you're running the system. You're continuing the system. You continue feeding the system with your ignorance. Okay, sorry. I was truly ignorant at one point too. Even now, I'm like studying the linguistic, and I'm like, damn, I still don't know anything. I'm like, I'm really stupid. Like, yeah, like like not the original word, like how the alphabet. I'm studying like even the alphabet, like how the alphabet has been changed over time. Like, it was just, I mean, I've been to Egypt and I've seen, like, it's Meta Nature and symbols and all that stuff, but I really didn't connect it until recently. Now I'm start like, damn, what the hell? Um, that language, speech, or whatever, literally start from signs and symbols. Signs and symbols. Signs used in nature, nature signs and different symbols. And then they later, people just keep copying each other and turn them into letters. But they're still symbols and they mean something. Each symbol means something. So that's what I'm like researching into right now, symbols and what they really mean, language and what they really, really mean. And boy, they don't mean anything as what they're teaching you in school that they mean. They do not mean what they're saying it means. Totally different meaning. This is why you will never understand the Bible if you read it with not learning the origin of language and words. No, you definitely will not understand. You gotta look up every damn word up in there because they all mean something else. Anyway, so I think that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, we have been greatly been misled, and I was not educated at all. So anyway, what I'm looking into is Moorish science. I think I mean, from today, I used to study more stuff like years ago, and I kind of stopped and I went on this whole spiritual path. But now I think my spirit is leading me back into going back again to before with this whole more science, but I'm looking at it like on a different perspective because you have people out here who's studying more, going back and saying that they're Moors, but some of them is really about trying to get money and all this other stuff, and they're trying to free themselves through paperwork again. Like, you literally, your old culture and your language has been taken away from you using paperwork language. So how are you gonna free yourself again if you're doing a bunch of paperwork and you don't understand the language? Yeah. So yeah, anyway, so I'm going back to like researching about language, linguistic, and more science. I think that's the real education system. They're really teaching you like what the hell is going on in this world and how you're still a slave and you don't know you're a slave. Using paperwork, using linguistic, using language, changing words, different meaning, so many different meanings to different words. Which one of them are they using when you're in the legal system? You don't even know. You're thinking it's a regular word with the meaning that you think it is, but it's really not. So, yeah, man, we have been fooled. So, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to share. But I think the takeaway from this is, I mean, I'm probably not gonna get too deep into like etymology and linguistic because it really comes back to the what I already know of sound and vibration. All things is sound and vibration. So words are sound and vibration. Yeah, man. And I'm still pondering over that the only thing that really exists is silence, is nothingness. Nothingness. Because if your body is made of light and all things is made of light, vibrating at different frequency to form matter, can you imagine if you become lighter in vibration until you are no longer matter? So does anything really exist? I think I was thinking about it, and I'm sounding kind of crazy now, but I was thinking about how everything is just a vibration. Like all things is just a sound and vibration, vibrate at different frequency. And if you raise your vibration to where you no longer have a physical vessel or nothing is physical anymore, in reality nothing is truly physical, then nothing truly exists. It's nothingness. It's just one big nothingness. Some kind of gloomy, but it's not gloomy. Still, I'm like happy, but But that's the reality of things. Like, God is non-being. There's no physicality at all. It's just God is silence. God is silence. So when they say to go meditate, right? Don't they say to go into the silence? Is not that where you find God? Is not that where God is? Go within yourself. God is within you. When he said sit and be still and be silent, and all the answers will be there. You will find all you need in the silence, because that's where God resides. Yeah.